and welcome to another Combos and Chill Dirty Talk session. It's me, Dirty, your host, and my wife and co-host, she's a Phoenix.
Hi guys.
So we want to welcome you guys to the session. Today is going to be a very interesting one. It's regarding the musicians and how to manage your things on the social media, how to promote, and if you want to do things on your own. And what steps to take. Our guest is Tobie Allen. He's the PR manager for Maana music for the MENA region and the MENA artist.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, and he's got a lot of years of experience under his sleeves,
Yep,
and this is going to be an interesting interview.
Very interesting.
I have never met anyone from that field yet, so
Exactly.
it's going to be an interesting one.
Exactly, it's gonna be interesting. And so without any further ado, let's welcome our guest on board. Tobie, what's up, man? How's things with you?
Welcome. How
How's
are
it,
you?
guys? Awesome. Thanks so much for having me on. Really looking forward to this.
Thank you so much
Oh,
for
man, it's all
coming
pleasure.
on. Yeah.
It's all pleasure. How's things, man? How you been?
Yeah, good. Being productive. I don't believe in saying busy because you can be busy doing FA,
Yep.
doing nothing. So being productive.
That's true.
So yeah, just the artists keeping us busy.
Exactly.
And, it's been a few troubled months. As you know, I was back in England, so I just had to deal with my father passing. And then
Oh yeah, sorry
since we've
to
been back
hear that.
last 3 weeks, it's been absolutely chaotic. But I wouldn't want it any other way.
I mean,
Oh,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
And anyway, we gave you a tiny introduction before you join us. So why you don't go ahead and and just introduce yourself completely to the
Wow.
audience?
Well, thank you. So first of all, I really, really value having this on. It's been seeing your growth and things, and well
Thank
done
you.
on doing what
Thank
you're
you.
doing. It's
Thank you
great
very
to-
much.
for what
Thank
you're doing. So
Oh,
full
thank you
support
so
there.
Thank you.
As you mentioned, I'm Tobie Allen. I'm the founder of Maana music, which is, for those who don't know,
It means
is Arabic or B as one, depending where you're from.
man. It means with us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
B is one. Together was why I
Exactly.
originally.
Yes.
Which we'll come to later. So I'm 47, going on 21. My wife thinks I'm never going to grow up.
Same here, man. My wife doesn't think I'm gonna grow up.
Yeah.
I'm from London, as you can probably tell with this dodgy accent. Live in Dubai, and been in the music industry 30 years. I was very fortunate
Wow.
to start dancing on
That's
the
amazing.
Ibiza dance floors in 1991. And I've had a long journey where I've failed many times, picked ourselves up, learned a lot, and started off DJing, then promoting in clubs, then promoting big parties, and then getting to London and promoting over there and bits in Ibiza. Record label, bit of music publishing, badly. Another record label over here, and
That's
then
awesome.
ended up being signed to Sony Music as record
Wow.
label. There's a whole story there.
That's
And
amazing.
having a marketing, and then finding a problem, so solving a problem. So a challenge that I had was not getting marketing for my own albums here, and realised that there was no music PR in the Middle East or North
Exactly.
Africa.
Yeah.
So there's a whole story there, which I'm sure we'll go into. But yeah, so ended up we're a PR marketing agency that helps Arab or MENA-based artists, global Arab artists, with a marketing footprint in 14 countries in English, Arabic, and French.
Nice.
That is
That's
awesome and so
And
impressive.
yeah.
With social media branding, brand collaborations, and some licensing.
That's
That's
awesome, man.
amazing.
That's a big ass resume, Tobie, you got over there.
Yeah,
So,
that's some
I
heavy
mean,
stuff.
I mean, I wish we could talk about all of this. Like, and-
Let's go.
We will try,
Let's
we
go.
will try.
I'm happy to try and explain.
For sure, man.
The big thing about all this is, I'm not trained in PR. I'm not a businessman. I'm a musician. I'm
Nice.
the way I look at with Maana, we're a bunch of misfits that help misfits.
Yep.
And the reason why I say
That's a
that
very good definition.
is because we're all musicians that help musicians, and musicians are creatives. They're not 9 to 5 people. They don't want Excel sheets. They don't know how to pitch or do emails or and we just take all that BS away from them and help them either solve one of three problems, and that's they either want more fans, they want more streams or more sales or more gigs, and you'll pretty find those are the challenges that artists want.
Yep.
And if you understand the challenges, because we're an artist, if you understand the challenges, then it makes solving the problem so much easier. And so we provide services to solve their problems, and I was experiencing those problems, and so that's how it all came about.
That's awesome, man. Just we're going to get into all these details in a bit. I just want to give a shout out to the viewers. Forfeit Saram is in the house. He's saying, hey peeps, just dropping for 10 minutes. We'll be watching Free Guy after.
How are you, Saram?
Thank you very much for dropping by.
Let us know how's the movie going. I mean, once you've watched it, let us know if it's worth going to.
Vix is in the house. What's up, Vix? Thank you very much for removing and banning that user.
Thank
Bullet,
you so much.
You are a mod as well. Bullet, welcome to the session.
Welcome,
by the way, guys,
welcome everyone.
This is our guest, Tobie Allen. He's the PR manager, and you guys heard him talk. He has a big ass resume. He's done, I think, almost everything when it comes to the music industry and managing in PR.
Yeah.
So he's a PR manager at Maana Music. It's a Dubai-based.
And he's into a lot of fitness and performance training and stuff.
Yeah.
So I saw all of that, and because I was into all of this before, and I have a lot of questions even regarding that.
Oh, okay.
So
Nice.
I'm gonna keep that for the end, like a bit at the end once we finish discussing everything else.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So the guys that you guys are watching this, if you guys have any questions for Tobie, please feel free and just drop it at the comment section, and I'm sure Tobie will be more than happy to answer it. So
More than happy.
Yeah. So Tobie, I know you already explained a bit about Maana Music. What is Maana Music, and how Maana Music came to fruition in the first place, or you just joined the herd?
Yeah. So 7 years ago, I came to Dubai with my lovely wife. She's Arabic.
Oh, awesome.
She's British, Palestinian, English. British, Palestinian, Egyptian.
Wow,
so we
one
came
of these
down
mixes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so we were in Haifa, in Palestine, or Israel, before. So we came down here. So it took about a year. I'd been in music for so long, but I'm very keen to get involved. But I actually took a step back and just witnessed, got involved, went to the few bars, the clubs, wanted to find out the lay of the land. In Dubai, and one thing I noticed that there was about 4 record labels. But
there was
my
4
outset,
record labels. I don't know any of them.
Yeah, there was 4 record labels at the time, and I felt that there was not really a collective platform. But in that year, I realised there was a lot of talent just in Dubai. Obviously, the context is Dubai at the time, not the whole Middle East and North Africa, which we look after now.
Yeah.
But there wasn't a collective platform, so I decided, and electronica was my forte, my genre of choice. House and techno.
House and techno,
my love.
Yeah.
That sort of diverted as I've got, digressed slightly or deviated as I've got doing this job over the last 3 years. And I've got into some strange stuff that I would never expect, Arabic hip hop and Arabic indie and stuff. Anyway, so I created Maana. The Sounds of Dubai albums 1 and 2, and we had about 15 tracks of Dubai residents, Dubai musicians. Yeah. Submitted tracks. So there was 2 albums of 15 and 15 roughly. And then I did a Maana Day album, which was a chill poolside thing. So the producers the music was a lot chilled, daytime stuff.
Like just lounge music.
And I was very fortunate that I got talking to Mike Fairbairn, the CEO, general manager of Sony Music, and he offered us a deal, and he believed in what I was trying to do, was to provide a collective platform for unsigned artists in the Middle East, because of my experience of record labels, distribution, and then which. You would think it's quite simple now, but it's not everyone knows how to upload a track, release it, and then market it.
Yep,
so
that's
anyway,
so true.
The problem was, I thought after the 2 years of releasing this music that I really thought I lacked the marketing or the exposure that I thought not only that I deserved, but I wanted the artist to deserve, that I wanted the artist to have. And I was thinking, like, really. it was a problem that I was like, what am I been doing wrong, or what is it out there, or who could I turn to in order to get some help? And I actually found out in distribution with major record labels, you don't gone are the days of, the wads of money, as you said, with the fat controller with the big cigar, and it gives you wads of money. You sit back and be, just be the artist or the musician. Yep. Nowadays, you have to do everything. So anyway, major labels, they offer a thing called distribution deals. So you think you're signed to the major labels, but you don't get much marketing with it. It's just purely a distribution. And they distribute to the DSPs, the digital service providers. So anyway, I wanted more. I then did some research with the artists. So I rang up all the artists, said all of them, a lot of them. And apart from Safe at Smoking Groove, he was the only one that said, no, I'm all right. But I'd asked, who is helping you market your music in the Middle East? I actually found out about 55 artists. There was 54 of them that said there wasn't anyone helping them.
No one, man.
So this made me start thinking that. And then a couple of weeks later, I was at a barbecue. I don't know if you know Sean Warner, good friend of all of ours from Red Bull. Sean Warner, producer. I was assigned to Universal Music. Anyway,
I might know him. Okay.
We were at his barbecue, and I met quite a few musicians there. There was one chap called Hadi.
Yeah, Hadi, he's a great friend of mine.
Hadi,
I love his
he
music.
was on the show.
Lovely, humble guy. So we were talking.
Dope dude, man.
I was telling him my plans. He goes, so you're doing some music PR. So you get to this stage where you're like, right, I'm being asked a direct question. I've had a beer in hand, and you're in this garden. It's like, do I say no or do I say yes? And it's like, at that moment, I went, yes, of course I do. Yeah, that's what I'm doing now. Take a challenge. Now, on that Sunday, and obviously those outside the region, that Sunday's our first day of the week. I'd never picked up a phone and filled out an Excel sheet of the Dubai-based journalists so quickly. So that week, I got about 30 names from Dubai alone, looked in the newspapers, did all the tricks, and which I can explain how you can do this all yourself. But built my mini media list of 30. Rang Hadi and said, "This is what I think I can do for you." The rest is history, and that was 2.5 years ago. And from then, we've now got a media list of 2,000 across the MENA region in English and Arabic, and also some Hindi.
That's
We've done
awesome.
campaigns with Danny Aridi in India.
Wow.
Congrats on that, man.
That is awesome.
We're now on we're on 97 artists.
Wow.
Beautiful, man.
18 months. So that's how Maana came to a long-winded way, but I think we've got time to speak long-winded. So.
I mean, that goes to show what a blessing that is here, because speaking as a consumer of music and a listener, an avid listener of many types of genres, and there are so many artists and bands here that were existing, and I was never aware of them because of the PR and the methods of marketing that they were using.
Exactly.
Because they're getting very less opportunities. Labels are picking up they're not picking them up, and it's so sad that their talent doesn't get encouraged or displayed out for the people to consume, and I mean,
when Tobie mentioned there was 4 record labels, I'm like, as far as I remember, there was Spellbind back in the days, but again, it was like picking up few bands, and other than that, there was just a distribution company which called Melody something, I forgot the name, which you just go to them and you say, okay, I just want to print out my thing, and they used to distribute it to Virgin.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that. Yeah.
So, but other than that, I'm so happy to see that actually you're saying 97 artists. That's a big ass.
Yeah, exactly. And they're really lucky to come under
their
umbrella.
They're not all from Dubai. We're talking they're global Arab. Just 97 artists that need an Arab footprint. Media footprint.
That's great.
Even though that's a huge milestone, and I'm really happy for you, bro, and hopefully more from this region.
I mean, considering that artists here were not even encouraged to have like he said, even gigs, even the opportunity to perform somewhere was so rare.
Exactly.
So now that they can actually get out and perform with live audiences and get better feedback, get more people engaged in their art is amazing now. To think about that, from that to the evolution that's happened.
Exactly.
So that's amazing. amazing. I mean, kudos to you and your whole
Kudos to you, man.
organization. Really, thank you so much for starting this
I mean,
here.
Tobie, what was the main obstacle to get over this? Because I remember we had a call last year. You contacted me because I was bringing Hadi on Combos and Chill, and you actually sent me bunch of artists that if I'm to get back to them, but. A lot of things happened in my life that time, so I had to put everything on pause.
Yeah.
And
but now maybe we can reach out and get
I was actually telling her I want to get Freak on the session.
Yeah. I mean, I've told him I want to support as many artists and as many bands and as many people possible from this region, because it's
any artist.
Like he said, they deserve so much more recognition and exposure, So I mean, the little bit that you can do,
So what was the main obstacles that you had to overcome to reach to this milestone of finding 97 artists in total from this region?
I've been very, 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 very fortunate, and I say this with a lot of gratitude, but I think 85-90% of the artists have all been referrals, because word has got round that there is this company that helps you deliver, their story to whether it be TV, radio, DSPs, online. Outlets, print outlets. The major challenge that I have on constantly, we always want to be better, and we are getting better. I'm always driving the team to get better. What whether it be SOPs, whether it'll be the client servicing, whether it'll be the media list, it's always how can we be better. And the one thing that we've got to understand with PR, and when artists, just because you pay for PR doesn't mean you're going to get coverage. There's three things so the biggest thing for us as an agency to get, we have control of the client servicing, we have control of building a media list, but the biggest thing that we don't have control of is everything is subjective. So just because, you don't pay a PR agency to get results, you get a PR agency to deliver, because a PR agency has built the biggest thing in about PR, and that's relationships. The bigger the relationships between the agency and the outlets, understanding what they want, how they want it, when they want it, what they're looking for, then artists, when we can prepare press releases to give them a bigger open rate, so they have more chance to be read. At the end of the day, the content managers, the editors, they're the ones that make the decision. We don't make the decisions to get coverage.
Right.
And it's a big, unfortunately, just because we're very lucky because of the relationships, and we understand over the 2.5 years, and we've got editors and TV, radio, and radios asking us, Tobie, what have you got this week? Then that what have you got that week? So we can help get the artists get coverage because we've got the relationships in place.
Right.
So that's what you're paying for. The actual cost of delivery is, let's just say $200. But the value in getting your email opened within a day and then published that week, because we know that they've got a firewall, or they want a WeTransfer or a SoundCloud, or they understand that they're ringing us and they're coming to us saying, what have you got? We can get quick fixes for them. You can say there's a value of $800, just using that hypothetically. And the biggest challenge that we have as an agency is just building relationships over time. And then people just moving, and the cycle of journalists, and keeping a media list up to date. So that's an internal challenge. And then you've got the challenges of the actual understanding the challenges of the artist.
All right.
I hope that makes sense.
Dude, it makes a lot of sense, because you're just saying whatever mistakes that my band and me as an artist did. So these are very crucial things, as in you need to know that's why I think most of these artists over here,
and these techniques can make a huge difference as well.
Exactly, that's the thing.
Yeah. So
I mean, as he said, it's not about getting the coverage. It's about the deliverance and how you approach, because they have the relations. And as he said, your email being
Can I add more to this?
Sure.
Can you give me a minute? I'll just get my phone, because my phone is not on silent because I'm an idiot. So just give me a minute. You guys can go along.
The first time.
You want me to carry on?
Yeah, please.
Okay, cool. So there's three things that you need as an artist. You need the music, you need your brand, and you need your story.
Right.
If you not have one of those three, your chances of a journalist or an editor or a content manager covering you diminishes slightly, and it goes on and down like that.
Yeah.
So on top of not only all the stuff about understanding what you can do, because anyone can do what we do, I'm happy to explain it to anyone.
Right.
But it's taken 2.5 years to then go and get the 2000, being able to get 30, 40 bits of coverage for artists within a couple of weeks.
So I mean,
and have those relationships with those journalists.
Okay. So I mean, since you've done it also in UK and comparing to this region, like what do you see the major differences that you faced in this field?
I haven't done PR per se. I understand the market. I DJ'd and promoted and partied in the UK, I would say, more than anything, and had a small record label. But PR, the biggest thing is between the two regions is reactive and proactive, which means in the UK, in the West, in the biggest markets like Germany, France, America, Canada, etc., they're running up to a release date.
Right.
So they'll want press releases by 6 weeks, 8 weeks beforehand to try and get you a coverage on Radio 1 or the big radio stations or the big articles. Here, it's very reactive. Oh, it's out this week, we'll go on the Sunday. So a lot of Fridays normally release date around the world. It can be any day, but most people use Fridays.
Yeah.
Most people, and don't deliver on Fridays anyway. The thing is, we do DSPs a week before. So the DSPs like to be delivered a week before the UPC number, but the actual sending press release out to get article coverage or interviews, it's after the release date, which you could sort of guess at why or what. I don't know what that is here. I know that there's certain journalists which are lazy. I'm quite happy to say, because it's cut and paste.
I mean, sorry to cut you off. Over here, it's much more of like, because we always talk about this on the show, like, because we're coming, I'm talking like about the bands that I know, like the musicians I mostly know and I'm engaging with, it's the musicians, like they're bands, like metalheads. So for us, the main obstacle is that this whole metal or rock music, the genre, this type of music is, the whole definition or the concept is not established here. They always have that whole wrong perception about it.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
It's like satanic and all these things.
There's so much censoring as well.
A lot of censoring. So
yeah.
I mean, for us, it's way more harder to penetrate anything in this region. I know few bands. Go ahead. Go ahead, Tobie.
I was just going to say, but if you look at, there's a couple of things I just wanted to mention there that you think. So let me just quickly rewind to the type of coverage from experience.
Sure.
So if anyone's listening, they will know, or future listening to this. There's an unwritten rule here, or unwritten way.
A loophole.
Just if you're Arabic, singing Arabic, you've got the best coverage.
Exactly.
If you're Arabic, expat Arabic, so like the States or wherever, singing in English or Arabic, tier 2.
Exactly.
If you're singing in English and you're not an Arab, singing in English, very hard. So that's the first thing. The second thing I would like to say is, you might want to find it difficult to break into a market here. But if there's no market, there's no need to worry about it, because there's plenty others, 196 different countries, for you to go and penetrate. So naturally, heavy rock, however that sounds, and it's very subjective, the market to the culture and the average being here, average person, is not, heavy metal is not going. There's not going to be a scene. There's not a scene here.
Exactly.
So you wouldn't really want to do PR to the scene when there's nothing here anyway.
Yeah.
You might. You're trying to get coverage, but at the end of the day, why? If you think about it, this is what we say. So if you think about, you're trying to pitch Saeed at the National. All right. Who are his readers?
I mean,
it's not Saeed. The readers are not going to want to know about heavy metal. It's the end user that the editors and the journalists have to think about, on top of whether they like it or not, to cover this if there's a story.
That's such a good point.
It's not necessarily about you. It's also just like, if you want to try and do Gulf Daily News in Bahrain, how many Bahrainians like heavy metal? How many people on Nile FM listen to heavy metal? In Egypt, there's probably a bigger market in Egypt, probably, to be fair, because there's more people.
Yep.
Yeah.
But if you think about Dubai in the Middle East, it's only 10 million people here. Now, how many people out of 10 million? 9 million expats.
I think in the whole metal community, including the musicians and the organizer, were like 300 people.
I mean, this makes so much sense to me because I was not having any idea that there was even metal bands coming out of this region until 2019, when I started like having that kind of circle and followers where I got exposed and got that algorithm change on Instagram gave me that kind of thing that, okay, in your region, according to your likes, I got to know. Before that, I've been living here for decades here in Dubai. I never knew that there was this kind of music there, even though I've been a metalhead since I was a teenager. I never knew. So that's the thing, like that makes so much sense that the demographics and how much role it plays in a region to attract your music to,
However, you could still get coverage if there's a story and then you're releasing music. We've done that plenty of times. So we're talking about, if you're talking, how is it created, the collaboration, or whether it LGBT rights, or whether it be women's empowerment, or whatever the story that you can create. We've created stories, which is more important,
right?
Because the music is subjective.
Yeah.
So you create a story that's worthy of someone opening up and possibly publishing, and then they're from this new band. What is it special? What's the story about? And being an Arab, you could still get coverage.
Exactly.
Because it's the story, not necessarily about you're making a heavy metal band. We've done heavy metal bands with Wall of Sound. So it does work. It's very limited. But what I would suggest to anyone, that just know your end market, and this comes down to you as a band and various things which we can get into about building foundations before you're looking for PR, and really understanding where your audience and the message and the brand that you want to give out to that. So with heavy metal, you need to be tapping into Europe, States,
Yep.
UK.
Yeah, that's actually very true.
I mean, sorry to cut you off, Tobie, because Spotify gives you that whole like your yearly
analysis.
Like the
Your
whole
audience, multiply for insights. Yeah.
So for my
insights,
band, it was, we got most of our fans from, you won't believe it, from Japan and Russia. And go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I was thinking when I was saying Europe, I was going to add in China, because just with numbers and things. But yeah, it doesn't surprise me when you said Japan.
Yeah, I mean Japan. It was Japan, Russia, and all the Southern American countries, like
I mean,
Brazil,
then
Argentina.
you should target them more.
I mean, that's the thing. Okay, as a musician, I would never know these tactics as like Tobie knows. I mean, Tobie, I'm sure, like you've been into gigs in and out. You've been DJing since, like you said, you were in Ibiza, so. Obviously you have more on your table to contact, other than us, that we've been only exposed to the tiny scene that we already have, which is, again, it's not a scene as you said, but it's kind of like we cornered ourselves since day one. I'm talking personally here. We cornered ourselves in that little circle. And we didn't look out. We thought we can break out and become that that holy shit good band, but it didn't work out. So hearing these points and these tactics and these strategies, although it might cost you a bit, but you're getting the help of a specialist, like a professional in this whole in this whole topic. Is just, it opens my mind. Like, I was already thinking of not like focusing here, but this is giving me more motive.
There's certain things that you can do. There's definitely certain things you do. The first thing I would do is just find your audience. Where's your audience? Social media is a great one. You know, where's the biggest Facebook groups, Instagram groups? You know, just where are they? Are they in Japan? And then start being present in that, and then finding out who are those bands. Look at the gig guides. Tap up the bands on the gig guides. Look at Time Out Japan. I'm just talking off the top of my head here. You know, go online and Time Out Gig Guide in Japan. See the bands. This is graft, you know. But and then you start reaching out to them, and then you start doing collabs. And then, I mean, look at Holophonic when they went to Thailand. You know, it was just big. But just from hustling, communicating, being human, and conversation, and that's how it all started. And you can sort of, and then you got your social media, you know, your 3-2-1 models in social media to start being present in these groups, and then commenting and finding like audiences. You know, you find a band and their fans, and then go and follow the fans, and then talk with the band and go, oh, by the way, we make this music. Do you like it? You know, you do that after time. Never ask for something straight away. But this is just like building fan bases. This is where it comes down to, do you want to sit at Netflix for 30 minutes in the evening, or do you want to go on social media and start, building fan bases? And this is something, these are things that you can do. So, and any artist can do this. Totally. And I'm happy to share these ideas with you guys.
I mean, we will get back to that, but I just want to give a big shout out to Nox, our good friend, that he rated the channel. Thank you very much for the raid, Nox. It means the world.
Thank you.
Nox, welcome to the session. This is Tobie Allen, our guest. He's a PR manager in Maana Music in Dubai, and he manages artists from this region. So, and by the way, Nox has a bit of idea about the whole music scene here as well. Like, he was talking to us regarding some of the metal bands here.
Yeah, exactly.
So again, Nox, thank you very much for the raid.
Thank you so much, and also thank you for our followers. We have Y Gaming Play and Dipsy.
Oh yeah.
There was another one underneath, Eddie Theo something.
Eddie Theo Taco.
He followed us, and he subscribed as well. So thank you so much. Thank you. That's the immense support that we were not expecting when we came on Twitch, and this is amazing. Thank you guys.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you. If you guys have any questions for Tobie, please feel free to drop it in the comment section. And back to you, Tobie. I mean, so basically it depends on your grind. So like, we need to do that whole thing by ourselves. So the PR companies, they do these things for you, or they have much more easy access to get these things done?
Yeah. So anything that I do, or any agency you can do as a DIY musician.
All right.
You can do it yourself at home. It's just what you're paying for is someone that's gone through the trials and tribulations, that has the media list, understands, which company's got a firewall. Do you send an attachment? Who wants a Word document? Don't ever send a PDF. Criminal. If you ever send a PDF press release, you need to just let me know. Because a journalist, I'll quickly say, journalists can't cut and paste quotes off a PDF. That's why.
Right.
For their articles. It's as simple as that. So whether sending low res photos and not having your brand in place, but again, this is all we can talk about that. But what you're paying for are people that just able to have done the hard graft, learned what people are looking for, and built the relationships when it comes to PR. We also do digital Spotify growth with conversion, Facebook conversion ads, Facebook pixels. I have Tom. It's data driven, trial and error. A couple of years on his own record label, come and now join my team, and we offer that as a service, so we can grow using hype edit and toned in your Spotify fans and Spotify listeners through Facebook, Instagram ads, Google ads, and things like that.
Actually,
so that's all trial and error stuff. So that's what you're paying for.
So, since you mentioned Spotify, I wanted to actually ask you because now, like when I go to, for example, stores like Virgin Megastore and stuff, I barely see CDs of like
CDs are
artists
gone.
or any. Like it's so rarely that you find someone who's released music that is I'm aware of, or like for example Hadi or like someone like
Yep.
that to have their CDs. Like I've never seen. I've only seen them on Spotify and Angami and all these kind of online stores. So like, is there like a shift now that it's already gone all to digital, or is it that the artists still do print CDs, or like for mass?
I mean, there are occasionally, I think, but it's just not cost effective. The amount of
Okay.
people that don't have CD players. It's everything. It's about streaming, but streaming is another.
The new,
You only
Yeah,
get
the new one, yeah.
0.004 cents
yeah.
a stream. So you need 1 million streams to get $4,000, and then that needs to be split by various
Yeah.
parties. But that, again, that's another conversation.
But I
probably
feel,
for
yeah,
another day.
because I feel that, for example, even he's like a cassette and CD collector since ages. Like he keeps like so like for fanatics who want to have music in that form to be listened to either on a CD or something. So
The vinyl.
yeah,
The vinyl.
exactly.
I mean, the vinyls are
Vinyl.
still thriving.
Yeah,
because,
but like I don't find it here as much. Like
Virgin has it.
yeah, but I'm
Flip
talking
side.
about the
Yeah, Flip Side is another store.
yeah, but still,
Shut it.
again, I don't see everyone. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
exactly.
That's
Like,
that's my
yeah.
point. Like I don't see everyone on
I
it.
mean, as Tobie mentioned, now the whole thing is like the whole diversion is towards the online market.
Because before it was like a physical ownership of the music. You know what I mean? It was like you contributed to the artist that way. You bought
Exactly.
the whole
Yeah.
album. You could listen to anytime you wanted and like have that quality music on it. You know?
Exactly.
So like that's what I'm trying to get at. That
Yeah.
you can own something physical from the artist. That's
I don't know, but do you have anything to add on? Actually, that's a very
Yeah.
good point. Like
Yeah.
Tobie, well,
Yeah.
please.
I do. I wanted to give some context about the digital and the traditional. The ideal. There's three types of PR.
yeah.
There's the traditional PR, which is your print, your TV, your radio, your magazines.
Yeah.
So you've got your digital.
Yeah.
Your digital is online, and your DSP. So you're delivering. We have relationships with Angami, with Spotify, Apple Deezer, and YouTube for Music in the MENA region.
Right.
And again, that's a relationship type of thing. So we were very lucky that we do get playlisting for artists on those.
That's
Some
great,
more
man.
than others.
That's great.
And then the last one is paid sites. So with paid, you need to with music. There's two ways. It's either in order to scale, you need to either pay for it or get your mates to share it very quickly to kick in algorithms.
Right.
Which is
The
the hard
organic
thing.
stuff is
Yeah.
you can do it, but it's two basic things. So now if you think about these three things, so if you're using, there is no correlation to the growth of your fans, if that's a challenge that you're trying to get, by someone reading an article on yourself. There's no correlation. If you hear an artist on the radio, you don't immediately go to Spotify. So if you think about it, it's brand awareness.
Right.
So you've got traditional and half of the digital, which is the online media,
Right.
and all the traditional, put that bracket into brand awareness. You have to do this over time, regularly. You get known as an artist.
Right.
On
So
the
it's-
digital side of things, on the paid, is the correlation to your growth on numbers, which then you get a return on. So half of the digital PR, which we do, which is the DSPs, and then paid media, paid ads, conversion ads, lookalike audiences, all that type of thing.
All the sponsor posts and stuff.
You put that in a package. You've got brand awareness and you've got growth in numbers, and
Right.
then you can scale that. If you just do brand awareness and not worry about any paid ads, you're going to get a little bit, but you're not going to get see any growth. People are going to know more about you
Right.
and might. But you need to grow because people look at numbers, but you might get gigs from it. You get a high return from gigs rather than a streaming rate.
Right.
So it gets quite. It's just like you got to really understand what you're trying to do. Are you trying to get to play in Glastonbury
Right.
or Coachella, or do you want to get playing on a beach in Dubai? What's your point? But you want to sell more records. So then you've got to drive numbers because that's where your return going. You need a lot more fans because of the streaming rates are so low.
But I mean,
so you've got to really understand your goals, your why, and where you're going for. And this comes right, if you loop everything back to what I was saying earlier, to foundational stuff.
Okay.
Before you even go for PR, before you even understand what your foundations are. Don't build a house on sand, you know. It's know your why, understand where you want to go to, smart goals, understand all your audience, you know, your brand is in place.
Right.
Then you can start going down the channels of, well, if it's purely about Spotify, then go down Spotify, become an expert of it, you know, but invest in it because you won't do it all organic. Or you want to do a long-term project, it's marathon, not a sprint, and you want to do more gigs overseas, then become a big fish in a small fish bowl in the MENA region, and you can springboard yourself out. Or there might be a little bit of a caveat like yourself, that there's no market in the small fish bowl, so you've still got to try and make it in the big fish bowl outside. But it's easier to be a bigger fish in a small fish bowl and then leverage yourself out to be, instead of just going from a MENA region, I want to be big in
It'll
LA
help you stand out as well.
As you explained, Tobie, sorry to cut you off, as you explained, as in like, okay, there is the tiers that we talked about. So for a musician that is on the last tier, which is the singing English, or like, you know, it's an English music, I mean, regardless the genre.
And your English. Your English.
So in that category, like, what are we looking at? Like, okay, you're just, for me, it just comes down that you're in a wrong place in a wrong time. Because there's no way out of it.
You get a little bit of English coverage, but you need to be looking at your home country or country where, you know, building up in England or States or wherever, you know, outside the region. It's harder to get coverage. Again, Nick, if you think about it, if predominantly the audience is of Arabic nature, I mean, our media list is 70-30 in an Arabic favour, which is representative of the type of people. You know, we speak English in Dubai, but most of it ain't Arabic.
Exactly.
If you're singing in English and you're an Englishman, and you're sitting in a cafe and you're from Oman or Bahrain or Egypt, do you want to know about this artist who is an Englishman in the Middle East? I'd say you're more likely to go for, you know, an NCR jam or something, aren't you? You know?
Yeah.
That's actually, I mean,
that makes a lot of sense.
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it makes. I mean, I want to actually ask you about like pre-COVID and post-COVID. What do you think is the techniques that the artists had to change, or you had to change for them, so that it would be different? You know, especially basically techniques to tackle the market. Like, how do you go out? Like, what did you have to change?
Like all the new strategies that you guys had to make for post-COVID.
I think it wasn't down to me. Like Maana, we didn't have to change because we're still delivering. I think it was the education of artists and the artists who, unfortunately, and I'm not, you know, this is not everyone, but you just see both sides of the coin here. And I'll be honest, is that there are some still complaining about why they're not got any gigs, but they didn't pivot or they didn't leverage anything else or a skill. In many ways, I mentioned this before we went on air. There are many ways that artists, whatever could have. You started Twitch. You could sell lessons online, or you could do. There's various things. And again, there's a conversation that one can do. And I think the ones that stood up and went, okay, I'm going to do something about it, was the ones that were all the clients that came to us and go, it might be COVID, we might not be gigging, but this is where I'm going to increase my brand awareness. This is where I'm going to knuckle down and make music.
Right.
Because you've got to think, there's 60,000 tracks released a day on Spotify.
Wow.
How do you stand out?
That's a very good point.
How do you stand out?
I mean, as far as I know, is like to pay someone to join their playlist because it's being played a lot. I mean, it's one of the... I mean, you understand where I'm going with this. You know, I've known artists that they actually pay to the person who made the playlist. For example, let's say 80s rock. And that person that I know is playing 80s rock, so he paid like, you know, X amount of money to put his song in that playlist so he can get coverage or like, you know, get exposure. So is that
Yeah,
one of
I mean, you can do that for a lot less with Submit Hub, as we know, or you can go to sites like Micro, who are all the playlists. You pay $10 a month, and there's there's hundreds of playlists that you can pitch. And I've got email pitches that work, which will come out soon in various educational bundles for free. That
That's
people
awesome.
can use.
That is so awesome.
It's just about what's the right type of pitch to a playlist and how to find them. It's not difficult. It's just time consuming. But then there are these sites like Myco, and then obviously Submit Hub that you can put $100 in, and you can submit and get onto various playlists, or you can get really narrowed down, and you can email. Because on Spotify, it shows you the email. A lot of them say submit your track. It's just you have to sit with a cup of coffee and go through all the playlists.
Yeah.
And then you can pitch them yourself and say, "Can I like your stuff? I've been following it. Is there any chance you could just have a listen to my music? I'll share it on my socials." If you do, that'd be much appreciated.
And I've also noticed that shift that the artists are preferring now to release singles instead of a whole album. You know, like I've noticed so many artists go through that shift.
I know artists
instead of releasing all together, they're going single by single, so that it's also relevancy, so that every now and then you hear the artist releasing something.
Yeah, and I don't know, what is their 8th single now? So you might as well just drop the whole album, So,
but like many people are doing that.
Right, I'll just give you another couple of things. The majors don't like albums. The reason is they like to tie you in forever. You've got 8 tracks, you've got over a year's worth of marketing every 6 weeks. If you drop an album, 4 weeks later, the album's lost and 60,000 tracks a day. You've got to be really different and have a big name for an album to stick around. So what they do a lot of the time, it's called waterfalling. So what we do is with the albums, we'll do 3 tracks and then an album, and then maybe some remixes afterwards. And then you've got a 6-month campaign. So you've got an album of 8 or 6, 7 or 8. So you waterfall every month or every 6 weeks. Say it's going to be released in August. You'll release the first one in January, second one in March. And waterfalling means you promote number 1 in January. In March, you'll do track 1 and 2. So you revisit 1. And then a couple of months later, you'll do 1, 2 and 3. Then you do the album, and then if you want to go and be clever, you get some remixes or partnerships, or do an instrumentals or acoustic, and just that you've got over a year's worth. But the thing is, the majors don't like big albums unless you're a big star. The reason why you do singles is because you've got a longer marketing period to go.
That is so clever.
But is that applicable for any artist, or you need to at least have like a small number of following, as in like not small, as in like medium range?
I mean, again, it's subjective. I can't tell you what's going to drop and be viral, so what I say will probably be completely wrong. But if you're trying to make it and you need to grow, if you think about all the social media that goes along with PR that you do yourself, even if you don't invest in getting someone to do it, you've got it. You start with no fans.
Right.
Exactly.
You've got more content to build and more. Got more content to engage with those fans and build that fan base up over time. You spend all your energies, you spend emotional time. You know what musicians are up till 4 o'clock in the morning on Logic or Ableton or Fruity Loops or Pro Tools. Then they've got to go to work at 8 o'clock. Some of them smoke, some of them drink. They put so much time. They're emotional creatures, artists, because that's why they're creatives. You drop an album, you get bugger all.
Yep.
It's a hard whack.
Yeah.
It's a hard thing to go through.
Yep.
Yeah.
So what you can do is you've got singles, you can A and B test things, what's working, what's not working, what style of music, more behind the scenes, videos, more time creating content and this journey and the story by doing singles, in my opinion. I might be, some big label manager might tell me different, but that's just my perception, my perception of it, or my outtake on it.
I mean, whenever Tobie talks, I just realize what mistakes I've done as a musician. It's just like I wish I,
But you're trying, mate. You're trying more than some people. That's what you've got to look always be positive.
At least you've not given up.
I mean, he mentioned the whole album drop becomes a flop.
Yeah.
Dude, it happened to my band. It was, success for like, let's say, a couple of hours. After that, I was like, meh.
Yeah.
We released one single, then we dropped the whole album. So, and the thing is, like,
take it down, re-release it with a better plan.
Dude, it's like 6 years old.
Remaster it, you'll be fine. Good
That's a good
music
point.
is
And
timeless.
guess what? We recorded it with Hadi as well. Hadi produced
Hadi
that
was the
album.
one, yeah.
Good
Mix in
music
there.
is timeless. It doesn't matter if it was.
I mean,
That is so true.
I mean, that's why for the new strategy, we were planning to release a single, which is gonna come in like a couple of months, and we have a video in hand. So, how this strategy is, in your opinion, is it a good first baby step, you can say, to at least get our shit together?
Yeah, I mean, I think strategies are very. There's so many, and it's like, what is strategy? Get your ducks in a row, as you say. Get your shit in order. All right. Be the best that you can be, and be ready to then share that message with whether it's PR outlets, whether it's to your fans. And I think being communicative and engaged with your fans is really, really important.
Yeah.
If you get articles, leverage it on social media. There's various things that I can talk about. Artists not fulfilling their roles, they want PR, but I keep going back to this foundational stuff. It's so important.
Yeah.
Like photos, EPKs.
Yeah, EPKs. Yeah.
Your brand links between all the social. Everything with the links. The 3 types of bios. One for social, one for press, one for an EPK. They're all different links. High-res images, 300 DPI. Because if they're going to be expanded, they don't want to be blurry. Landscape, a portrait. Doing better off action, not you looking like, posy ones. Which is funny because I've got a couple. But it's with artists, journalists like ones with doing your craft, but high res.
Right.
But also have a couple with a brick wall, and you can do them at home. I actually took photos myself. I did a test run. I pictured me taking pictures of myself, and then documented with an iPhone. It was an iPhone 6. I took it with.
Oh. Okay.
White wall and Canva, 300 DPI. I sent them off to a friend of ours, Leslie at Iron Crew. I said, would you use these? If I sent, because I gave some options, and me outside with some shadow in my garden from a palm tree with one of these, and put the photo on timer. I know I'm digressing, but I'm just giving you, it's really important. It's part of the foundation.
I know.
And you can do all this at home. You can do this for you. You don't have to spend $1,000 for a studio for an hour.
Yeah.
So anyway, I sent them to Leslie. She goes, yes, I would print these. I mean, it was just a little tester. Because then by using that, I'm going to do an ebook to share with people about brand. So your bio's in place. Your photos. You have a press folder. EPKs are great. It's your one-stop shop.
Yeah.
Basically, it's your resume as an artist. It's your artist
then
resume.
having a promoter's link at the bottom of that EPK. So you can link to go, and actually there's no point having an EPK if you can't cut and paste it, because you can't cut and paste PDFs.
Right.
So at the bottom you have a promoters folder. This is a little trick. Promoters assets. So you click on that, it goes to a Google Drive. Then your bio is there in a Word document, your social handles, your high-res images, videos, whatever you want to put as your press, your logo, your fonts, your brand color, your palette. Have that all in one place, ready for all. So when you send it off for a gig or record label, this is my EBK, this is my one-stop shop, this is all about me in a snapshot.
I mean, these
you.
are amazing tips for like organizing, all your information in a way where it's so accessible that the person is not having as much trouble, and that back and forth is not happening. There's no delays, there's no inconvenience. So I think that these are great tips for organizing it in a better manner.
Yeah, go ahead,
The
Tobie.
job. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, that's fine, man.
The job of the PR agency is to make the job of the journalist to say yes as easy as possible.
Yeah.
If you give any slight delay, like if they have a deadline and you've got no photos or they're rubbish and they're not high res, they're at 72 DPI or whatever it is, low res, and they're a screenshot of something from 6 years ago of a grainy bar while you're on holiday in Bali. Right? And a journalist is just going to go, and a journalist is going to literally go, I need this now. You've lost possibly 1 million viewers on a thing.
Wow.
And you can then there's the repercussions of losing press, because you can then leverage it, and you've got content snippets of your press for another month.
Wow.
So make the job of pitching short, sharp, sweet, to the point, honest. Don't use superlatives, because everyone sees through BS. The next best thing to happen.
Yeah.
The next this and that. Just journalists look at it and just go, Get a good bio, get some good photos, good EPK, promo assets, understand your goals, know your audience, where you're going to pitch. Then you can start. Then with all that, then you're ready to go. Then you're ready to go to market, like Ninja Turtles with your shield on. You know, you can go out there and go, come on, I'm gonna have it.
Yeah, something related to what you're talking about, like the whole EPK topic. The EPK, I came to know about it in 2017.
Oh, okay.
You won't believe it. Like I've been a musician since 2007, but that's what I told you off stream. Like I'm very old school when it comes to, managing your shit. So in this whole entire community of musicians that I am in touch with, literally, Tobie, you won't believe it, one person, his name is Nadeem Bibi from a band called, he used to be in a band called Aneurysm. Give him a shout out at NA Damage, all in one word, on IG. He's a good friend of mine. He was here in town. He was the only guy, Tobie, that he actually sent me his own personal EPK. He told me, listen, try to put something together like this. Other than what I'm trying to get to is that, forget about that. Okay, there is no backbone agencies. There is little PRs, PR agencies or whatever. There is no musician helping each other. Like, I think this is another obstacle that the musicians here in Dubai, specifically in Dubai, as an independent musician, I'm not talking about musician under Red Bull or under any other big ass brand, they are actually suffering from this. Like, the whole musicianship is not there. I'm sure in the Western countries it is there, as in like that whole not helping each other is there, but at least there's few things that people share, common.
I mean, that again goes to the ethics of the industry itself. I mean, if here in the region, that ethic of helping fellow musicians or guiding them, because maybe they have a fear of one day, what if you're my competition? Maybe that's the thing. Maybe that's the principle they function on. Some of them out there that I've met, your fellow artist friends, they are so helpful. They will give you contacts and so again, I feel that is just ethics. It's not. For
example, this Twitch community, literally, they've been so supportive.
Yeah, immensely.
With us since day one. Like, I've never seen this much support in my whole musicianship, in my whole musician career.
And the little bit of scene that is here, which is again non-existent.
So, I want to take you. I want to find out what's your take. Does the musicians need to help each other, or again, it's everyone for themselves?
No, I don't think you need to help each other, but I think I believe in serving. I believe that if you give, you get.
That's so true.
In life, it doesn't have to be music. Can you do everything by yourself? Yes, you can, but you're not going to learn. It takes. I heard an interesting thing from a podcast yesterday, The Disruptive Entrepreneur, and he was talking about, I spoke earlier about how I've made failures and learned from them. But why don't you just learn from people that have failed, so you don't have to fail? So you don't have to fail in the first place. And I thought it was very interesting that surround yourself with people that are just above where you are, look up to, not necessarily mentors, but just surround yourself with like-minded people, like-minded genres. And then asking questions. How did you do that? How did you do that? And anyone that's got a half a heart will say this.
That is so
if
true.
you haven't, then then you don't want to be surrounding themselves with you, because anyone that's making success will share.
Yeah.
Because they've got a belief of giving and serving first, and then you reap what you sow.
Yeah.
So that's my opinion. So can you actually become a DIY musician, do everything yourself? Of course. But it's going to take you a lot longer. Work smart, learn from others rather than trying to do it, fail yourself straight away. I believe in failing.
Which you're going to learn.
Learn.
Learn from
But get advice surround yourself with like-minded people to ask questions, and I think you will go further quicker.
Yeah, I just want.
It makes total sense. It's just like, over here the musicians are just a bunch of douchebags. That's it.
Maybe the ones you're in touch with.
That's all subjective. I think it's an environment that there's, it depends what's first of all, I suddenly think what's douchebag. You get it in the UK, you get it in America, you get it in the electronic scene, you get arrogance, you get conceitedness. It's all about numbers. Is there? Then you get down to what's a scene.
I mean, Tobie, sorry to cut you off. The thing
that's also true, because I've seen it now.
Whatever he's saying is 150 million% true. But the thing that grinds my gear is that, like idiots, we are very few of us here. Why we don't help each other?
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing that really, it's like a stick up my, butthole. Is like, it's really annoying me. It's really annoying me. It's like, listen, we are few. How many bands are here? Why
the important point is how many bands that are still active. I have come across so many amazing artists and bands here that he shows me, and then I'm like, wait, they just have one, because like I'm thinking I'll have a discography to feed off on, and then I come to know one album, that's it.
Yep.
They just disbanded, or they just stopped making music, or they had to start a day job or something like that.
I mean, as Tobie, you as a PR manager or someone that you're actually dedicating your time to help like the new upcoming artists. To put these things like into perspective before taking any decisions.
Yep.
Where do you think the problem is? Like, is it really the artist, or is it the region, or is just that the whole thing as a package?
In what context?
In context of having exposure, or like being heard. In the region or abroad and stuff like this. Actually, I'm talking much more in this region, in Dubai, where the problem is regarding
it's education. I think it's real education, and this is where we're trying very hard to.
Like you face these problems to explain to these, I mean. Did you have such an obstacle in your way that you had to actually sit down with the person and dissect the whole thing for them?
No, but education on how to help them scale. What I'm doing with you now, I'm having conversations and creating courses and ebooks, and the podcast is all directed to music marketing. So I can't do PR unless you're signed. But does that mean should I forget about the 18-year-old out of Cairo? No, it's just as important that I educate the younger youth how to help them what they need to build, or what they need to do to build in order to get their first release.
Right.
I get a lot of calls, which some people call them tire kickers. All right.
What is it?
They're not
tide kickers.
Tire kickers.
Right, when you go and buy a car, you kick the tires.
Oh yeah.
You're not going to buy it. It's a time waster. But they're not. They're the most important people to us. All right, because it's the long term. These are the kids of the future, the creatives. Everyone's got a story.
Right.
So they call up and they want to PR, but they can't afford, or they don't understand, what a social media campaign, what branding is, or, they see it online, or they don't understand. I had one couple of days. What genre? Oh, I do EDM and hip hop and trap, or I have a fusion of all that. And it's just like breaking that, educating and getting them to understand, right, okay, so we're even before, what's the foundations? What are you making? Why are you different? How are you going to stand out?
Right, right, yeah.
So the thing is about educating and not forgetting. Just because I've done 97 artists that are signed, there's thousands of other artists out there that need help with smaller services, smaller little things to help them. And I do that for free, or I do that educational with the ebooks that are online. And, we're nearly halfway through the course that we're building on how to build PR for, MENA musicians. And that's a big thing for me. So that's the challenge as I have, is how can I educate more, in my opinion.
Okay.
Because musician ringing me up from Morocco, Tunisia, whether it be Palestine, whether it be Jordan, they're going to be the same questions as they're coming in from UK or US. They all have access to the same YouTube channels. They all have access. They might not have all the access to the best equipment, depending if they're recording live, or they can afford Ableton or get a crack version of Logic. That's correct. How well do they know that? That I couldn't tell you. But,
wow, you know people that they don't even know how to use these things. Okay, this is
take it for granted. Ableton.
Yeah,
now I understand what you meant, like what you meant by educating.
Because there are some artists that are not born either in that digital era, or they're not aware. Maybe they don't have the resources to tap into all of these online digital platforms where they can release it and have their music heard everywhere else. So Tobie, I have a question for you, because you mentioned YouTube and the visuals and stuff. So because I'm gonna preface this question with there was a guest we had got from a band in Saudi Arabia called Creative Waste. He's a lead singer of that band called Fawaz. Now Fawaz was talking about how important is like a music video for an artist or someone, because there's so much listening going on than just visually watching. So what do you think is the importance of that balance? Should there be a balance, or there should be at least step by step, that first you release the audio, then the video, or how do you think that a person should go about that?
You make me smile, because I do work with Wall of Sound in Saudi, and I would say, first of all, of course, he would say video is very important, because 96% of their content is on video on YouTube.
You're working with the Creative Waste?
No, I work with Wall of Sound, Ahmed.
Okay.
We're just doing at the moment, and Skeleton Crowd and things like that.
Right.
So I understand that, and actually I got educated by my wife, because she was in kids gaming online, and she was telling me the stats that Saudi content, entertainment before a couple of years ago when it started opening up, the content is 96%. So it's obviously it's very important, even more so for Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
When it comes to music videos, you just got to think that yes, you listen to music with your eyes as well. It's very visual. There's two types of videos that I've seen, and I'll explain that I've seen work. You do not have to have big fancy videos. You don't have to spend big budgets on it. You can do them one in your studio with some graphics, and I've seen one with over 1 billion views, which was sent to me by Allah at YouTube. And he also sent me out 18 million on a lyric video. Just creative fun.
18
million views on a lyric video, and I've got the links here. I will share these with you. So it can be done. Just 3 guys rapping in a studio over 1 billion, just doing that with a couple of graphics. One thing you got to remember: if you can try and drive traffic from YouTube to Spotify, you get a better payment rate. I think
all right.
All right. So just because you're making millions of views on YouTube doesn't mean you're getting lots and lots of money. Also, YouTube and Spotify, they have different rates for different countries.
Right.
So if you've got a lot of views in Egypt, you don't get paid that much as compared to somewhere else.
Wow.
Just hypothetically.
Man,
and that's all to do with publishing and performance royalty rights.
Wow, there's so many facets to this.
Performance rights. Sorry, my rights is a bit. my rights knowledge is shui shui.
Shui means a little. I just Tobie, just hold to your thought. We have a viewer. His name is
Pandiji, I think.
Pandiji, he or she is asking, you guys are from Iran, how things are. I am from Iran, I'm half Iranian, half Iraqi, and my wife is Indian.
And we are situated here in UAE for now.
Yeah. And I do speak Farsi, yes.
And I'm learning Farsi.
It's the most beautiful. It's the most beautiful language ever.
Yes, I agree.
Beautiful
I agree. Even the way he says my name in the Farsi accent, I'm like, wow.
What's up, Bundlehead?
Hello,
Bundlehead. You know, I mean, Persian, everyone thinks we're like fighting, but like, you know, when she comes to my house and like me and my mom were just talking, me and my sister, she's like, she has that shock face.
Yeah,
like,
I have
is
fear.
everything all right? I'm like, yeah, we're just having a normal conversation.
Yeah, but that's just their family. But other than that, like when I hear, even because I was into poets and stuff of you know, the olden times when, like, before I met him, so when I hear the recitation and stuff, oh my god, it's just such a, I can't even, it's like a soothing,
very posh.
very soothing,
very posh,
romantic. Let's just be honest.
Yeah,
it's
very romantic. Yeah, and I can get familiarized with some of the words because I know Urdu, so like a lot of those words are in Hindi as well. So like
they have so many similarities.
Yeah, so,
that's why for example, if I'm talking to my mom or sister, she can pick up few words and put the whole sentence.
Yeah, like
together.
I get the gist of it.
Yeah. So,
but it's an amazing language. I mean, I wish I can learn it faster so I can.
You will learn.
Yeah.
Anyway, Pandiji, yes, I speak Farsi and my wife is Indian. And again, thank you very much for dropping by on our stream.
Yep, thank you. Welcome. We're interviewing Tobie here,
Tobie Allen. He's a PR manager in Maana Music in Dubai.
Yeah.
And he manages artists from the region of the GCC and you know, around us.
Yeah.
So welcome to the session. If you have any questions, please drop it in the comment section.
And welcome Bundlehead. By the way, Tobie, Bundlehead is the person responsible for the screen you saw before we started this. So he's designed everything for us and he's done an amazing job.
Yeah, all the overlays and all the designs of Dirty Talk and everything is all designed by Bundlehead. So if you guys want anything like this, please contact him on Bundlehead_official on IG. He's a very chill dude. He's a dope guy.
Very like humble and super down to earth. Yeah.
Yep, and he has a cat.
He's the cool cat. He's the cool cat.
The thing is, like, Tobie, whenever we have like metalheads on the show and we kind of like, you know, sometimes we showcase their music.
Yeah, we
just Bundlehead is like, man, now I understand why my cat was
turning into a tiger.
Turning into a tiger. So I mean, okay, I mean, Tobie, this is the thing about Twitch. We need to keep interacting with the community as well. You know, it's one of these.
I totally understand. It's my first time on here. It's absolutely awesome.
I mean, today we don't even have our regular ones. That is Sam and other people who like talk a lot and ask a lot of questions. So you know, it's a little slow, and we are chat heavy, meaning we'll read all their comments and we'll communicate to them to you. Yeah, we engage with them.
So Tobie, you were saying you're new here. So I think this is a good platform for you as well to showcase some of the artists. Like it doesn't take that much. It just takes like a good, like, you know, streaming system.
Yeah.
And you can actually, like, you know, I mean, in this time, which is like COVID time, I've heard about a lot of musicians that they've been like, you know, there is a huge community for music. Hadi does stream on Twitch.
Yeah, Hadi does, and we even bought a guest from Bahrain who was ex-music. And he's still like giving lessons and stuff, and he does streaming. So
Twitch is a very helpful platform for musicians.
It's got better copyright rules.
Yes.
Laws than Facebook and things.
Yes.
Less strike downs.
We had to go through like 4 different types of steps and forms, and just so much contract details, and basically like trying to protect the artist and the platform itself. And they were so like, there were so many legal terms that I had to Google.
Basically, like we reached to a point. She's like, listen. we should not fuck up.
Yeah, that's why we are so particular to follow the rules, because it's so easy, like to mess with Twitch, and they've made the rules in such a way that no one can mess around.
It's very the security level is super high.
But I guess it's also a very engaging platform. It's one of the places I've seen that you can literally get viewers and people from anywhere in the world.
Exactly.
So,
Tobie, you were mentioning Facebook, man. My algorithm on Facebook, it was so bad. Once, take it this way, like another friend of mine, he's a streamer as well. His name is DJ Zax. He's actually streaming right now. He does game streaming. He told me, like, listen, 10 viewers on Facebook is equal to 1 viewer on Twitch.
Yeah, and keep them coming back to you. It's like,
and talk about the devil.
Of
we were just talking about the guy. He just raided the channel.
Hi DJ,
What's
are
up,
you?
DJ? Thank you for
everyone.
The raid.
How's everything? Thank you so much, DJ, for the raid.
We were just talking about you.
We were just mentioning to Tobie.
Welcome to the session.
Hi,
this
everyone.
is our guest, Tobie Allen. He's the PR manager of Maana Music in Dubai. He manages artists from this region. So welcome to the session, DJ. How was your stream, man? Tell us in the comments section.
Literally, as they say in Arabic, like you have a long life.
Long life.
Umar Tuwil.
So sorry, Tobie. Once in a while we need to do this with the community. But back to you, man.
I have one question for Tobie.
So,
Tobie, in all your career and your lifetime trying to promote, which is the most interesting artist that you came across that you were damn, this was a good find?
Yeah.
Most interesting would definitely be Bashar Murad.
Okay.
Very much
from here, or
I think Lebanon.
Palestinian.
Palestinian. Oh, okay.
Firm supporter of LGBT rights, which you can imagine talking. He has a voice, an educated voice. He has a great pop brand. Believes in what he says, what he believes in. And I'm just being a little bit obviously because you told me about, but he believes obviously his brand. He talks about his challenges of being in Palestine. That's just his choice. But also one thing I learned from it, and obviously with his brand of being very LGBT supportive in the Arab world, is don't ever presume that things won't work.
Yes.
Because we got coverage in Saudi, we got coverage in Kuwait, so the most places where you would not think that type of artist that type of messaging would get coverage.
That's right.
It's the biggest thing I learned about. Just because I might think something, it's not my place to think that. So it was the most. It was a great experience. He was our most successful artist, getting the most amount of PR for him. We crossed the whole region and outside, and some in Europe. And that's just something that was, you mentioned a couple of things at the beginning of the thing, and so most of my experiences, the good ones, fall under them basically. So I'll leave it at that.
That's great. As in, he worked with your promotion, and
he was signed with Spec from Pop Arabia. So as for his song Mascara. And they came to us and we helped him spread that story and his music video across the region.
Well, I have a question from DJ. He's asking, will you manage Twitch streamers too?
I would love to. If you've got a story and you're as weird and wacky as I am, then I'm all game.
That weird and wacky is how you define all streamers here.
You should join us on the Thursday.
Yeah, to be fair, anything that we do PR, we're also doing some CEO stuff in the entertainment industry. So we're doing stuff, we're doing press releases this week on NFTs. We've got audio swim, blockchain. We're doing Dan Bolton Agency. So there's also Albert Carter. So we're definitely doing individuals and people leading in their fields. It just takes a little bit more hard work. It's obviously it's called proactive PR rather than again reactive PR. So reactive PR is just to quickly give you another caveat. Is like a record is out, it's a press release, or you're selling a butter or a car, or for us it's an album. It's one press release. We send it out. It's reactive to that one press release. When you're coming to the question, do we do streamers or people? CEOs, leadership, businesses. you've got to create stuff every month. It's a long term. It's over 6 months. It's very much more proactive. You're talking about op-eds. We write articles and pitch them to Entrepreneur or your trade magazines or the gaming magazines. We'll find stories, one story for 1 month for one territory, for 1 month, and then the next month we'll look at another angle and pitch that story to other outlets in different countries. So yes, we do it to answer that question. Sorry, it was a little bit long-winded.
No, it's fine because you said if you're wacky and stuff. Zach is saying I wear a wig and I sing on my streams. And
yeah, he has a character, so
it sounds like someone to go out for a good night out with.
Yeah, and that character called Digina.
Yeah, and I've seen, and wow, like it's so entertaining to watch him.
Like, he's crazy. He got a soundboard and he changed his voice, and it's like that's the thing. Like Twitch is like you were talking about DIY. Twitch is DIY.
Yeah, everything.
Everything.
I mean, it's such a good platform for people to show their individual personalities without any filters.
Yep.
There are no filters here. That's the biggest advantage. Like you can be yourself. You can create your brand as yourself.
Like if you're not in this region, yes, you are unfiltered. You can go.
No, I mean, meaning like you don't need to alter anything. Like you can literally be yourself freely. Like either your characters you're playing or
I think you can be who you want to be in this region. That's just a personal point of view. There's different.
Yeah,
not naive to the fact. I've been here 7 years, and I know that different countries have different levels. But as an artist, or as you say, online, I think this is a good platform for people to be.
Exactly.
Within. And I totally get there are countries that you can't be fully who you want to be.
Exactly.
And I respect that and feel.
Like, for example, today.
Frustration and pain.
Yeah, like our good friend Knox, he was streaming today. He just put a tag of you can put tags while you're starting
something like a hashtag, but which like triggers the region or something.
So he put Indian or Anglo-Indian. So he just like a couple of hours ago, he got 10 new followers.
And we were on a stream, so we saw it happen. It was amazing.
It's crazy, Yeah. And Twitch is very
supportive community.
Very supportive community.
They don't care like as long as you're entertaining and you literally have viewers that come back to you because they love your content.
Exactly.
Like there is very very minimal effort you need to do other than just entertain them. Like there is not much that goes into promoting yourself or anything. It's just that once they like you, they come for enjoying on the stream.
Like just see what you can, if you need any help, I'm gonna help you out as much as I can regarding Twitch.
I mean, maybe you can give classes or tips or tricks or something like that.
I mean, there is a whole thing.
I bet that. I mean, already within this 1.5 hour, I've learned so much about this field that I didn't have knowledge before.
Knox is saying the unpredictability. What?
Unpredictability of this platform is why people come back. That's so true.
So
that's
true,
very true. Yeah, like we once went on a channel of someone from UK. His handle on Twitch is Daddy Wisdom.
Yeah.
He is such a kind person. He made us there are steps for affiliation, meaning like you can start gaining more benefits out of Twitch. So he made sure that we got that many followers and like so helpful. Like we don't even know him.
DJ,
he's not gaining anything. Like it's such a selfless community. That's the advantage here.
Very supportive. Thanks to them, we're here and we're still grinding.
Okay, so I let's go back to the questions.
By the way, welcome to She's a Phoenix Brain. She's like this. She explains something and suddenly changes the topic.
No, because see, I have everyone knows here in the comments. People they know I have I'm functioning. I'm functioning on 2 brain cells. So I will say something and then I'll remember. If I don't say it, I'll forget it.
Yep.
So
So please go ahead.
So I was asking because I saw on Tobie's Instagram, which is Tobie Allen. He is immensely into
Okay.
I'm at Tobie Allen. Are you happy? Okay. So I wanted to, because I saw that you actually have done the Ironman, which is a very performance, like it's immensely physically taxing performance related sport. It is insane. Sorry, I'm losing from. taxing kind of, like, just in all of these, and also your coaching as well. Like, how did you get into all of this?
Yeah, good question. Let's just say I'm 47 now. At the age of 39, I decided that my partying should stop.
All right.
And I had a few years to make up for it. Did 25 years of partying in the music industry. Got caught up in that a little bit too much. And then in the last 7 years, you're very right, I coach at the ICC, so I do high performance. I've done my master's in, in performance coaching, which I finished last year.
That is impressive.
And then I train for triathlons, and I just happen to like the longer ones. Because they're just a little bit more challenging.
What am I doing with my life?
It just keeps me. It's my yin and my yang. So all the business stuff that I've learned, I then transfer into having 60 children in front of me, which I'm in charge of at the ICC, as well as high performance there. And we were very lucky to be able to coach the UAE under 16 side. 2 years ago, I was able to do that last year.
That's amazing.
Sorry, Tobie, but there's a question from one of our followers. They're asking, what is ICC?
The International Cricket Council.
Wow.
Okay.
That's what it is. So I coach cricket to all the Indians and the Pakistani theirs and the Sri Lankans and all the Bangladeshis.
Wow.
Yeah, no, I coach cricket, high performance cricket at the ICC.
That is amazing.
What is a high performance cricket?
It's just that
international level, like I can coach up to international level.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. Sorry, but by the way, I have zero knowledge about cricket. I just know it takes 2 days till you finish the game. and it's a religion for Indians.
Yes. So I am an Indian myself.
Why the hell you don't know this ICC?
Well, because I'm not too much into cricket.
Yeah, she doesn't.
I grew up on football because my grandfather, my dad, everyone is into football. So I never got into cricket. So
For our American viewers, soccer.
Yeah, it was for soccer.
Football.
Yeah, football. Man, that's a dude. What the hell are you doing here? Dude, your resume is not meant for here.
I that's a very good question.
Yeah,
How come? What made you land up here in Dubai? Like what? And is keeping you here?
His wife.
My wife.
Oh,
my
okay.
Wife got offered a job. She, as I say, she speaks fluent Arabic. She's a British, but she's Egyptian Palestinian.
Oh, wow.
So that's why we're here. And also, I love the culture.
Right.
I love the peacefulness of it. I love the fact that it's crime-free. I like the fact that people let you get on with it. You get treated respect, you get respect back. From where I'm from, it's a different experience.
Right.
That's a personal choice. I just happen to prefer it being here.
I bet that you had to. I bet that you had to adjust to the heat compared to UK, because I've been to UK. UK is cold, and then here it's like extreme opposite.
But I think he likes it here.
Do you love the sun here, or?
I love it.
Here we go.
There you go.
Bundalat is saying ICC headquarters is in sport. He's saying ICC is also International Criminal Court. Dirty. He's saying ICC headquarters is in Sports City, by the way.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Oh, it's that stadium.
Yeah, probably.
Didn't know.
That's the stadium, the ICC headquarters, and then you got the ICC Academy.
Wow, man. Wow. You yourself play cricket? As in, like, you've been
I've never
in teams?
Cricket. I've never played cricket.
You've never played cricket?
Never played cricket.
And how the hell are you teaching it?
Because it's a way of coaching. I know the sport, don't get me wrong. I know the sport very well. And obviously, I've done
your homework.
I've done my badges, and I've done experience of coaching. But you don't have to be an ex-professional. You don't have to coach in the modern day coaching. You'll find this in schools. It's very question-based coaching.
Right.
Yeah, that's right.
So the theory is, most people will know Sachin Tendulkar.
Sachin Tendulkar.
To use this as a quick example, Sachin Tendulkar will ask us that he wants to have a practice. I could still, the premise is I could still have a net session with Sachin Tendulkar, because the first question was asked is, what do you want to do? Do we just create an environment for them to practice what they want to practice? You're not telling them what to do or how to be better because they're good enough, and that's high performance coaching. You're creating environments and asking them questions like, how do you feel? What did that look like to you? And they'll go, oh, that was a bit, I didn't really like that, it was a bit off balance. Okay, so what could you do to get more balance? Keep your eyes level, or something. And you have this type of dialogue, and that's high performance coaching. So you're just managing, you're not coaching.
Nice.
So before I go on to my next question, we have a question from Bundlehead. A request for Maana Music. Can you please put a petition to ICC to abolish Duckworth-Lewis method? What is that?
I think this is...
Since I don't know,
I don't know the sport. This is great, I'm talking about cricket. Duckworth-Lewis method is basically a method that was, I don't know the dictionary term,
okay,
but to get a result when weather caused the game to finish early. So if it was raining, there is a method of working out if a team was doing better or worse at that point that the rain stops play in order to give a result. Does that make sense?
So this is a rule, I guess, because a lot of these countries that it's prominent in have either the monsoon season or it's a country where, like for example, UK, where it's it rains, or Australia as well. So wow, that's interesting.
Okay, how this method is applied in these situations? Like they say, like, fuck it, there's rain and we're gonna stop the game and I win.
There's a piece of paper, piece of A4.
Okay.
And the runs, basically there's overs. You know what an over is?
Yeah.
Every over.
Yeah.
And then they've got the runs down the side, and then there's they counteract that for the second innings.
Right.
And at every over, if the team is not over where the other team was, or they've calculated a new figure. So if the second team bats half, they've still got a chance of winning if they were scoring more runs than the other team was.
Okay.
And I'm sure your viewers on Twitch could explain this so much better than me.
I mean, they're already just... Carry on.
I was just going to say, this is cricket's hard enough as it is, or to understand some people.
Yeah, true.
If you don't even know the game of cricket, trying to explain the Duckworth system is
it's because
not quite the time we could be here.
The runs and overs and everything, it's you need to...
Like, I remember playing cricket with my childhood friend, and they would just tell me, like, listen, go stand there at the end. If the ball comes to you, just throw it back. Like, I never got to, like, throw the ball or, like, bat, and I'm like, well,
we can go play.
I hate that game. Sorry to say this. I mean, Tobie, no offense, but I mean, I can't sit through a boring game.
The other day, we were sitting somewhere and the match was on TV, and he was telling me, "Can you explain what's going on?" I'm like, "See, dude, you need to. There's a lot that goes behind even before the game starts."
Because they take it so seriously, and the game is so chill.
Do you know what happens in India when there are serious matches? Everything is shut down. Wow. Like, no one goes to work, no one goes to school.
I know there is a religion for Sachin Tendulkar. And,
the religion, he's like God.
Yeah.
They'll put his picture, they'll do puja in front of him.
Man, this is crazy how a game, I mean, again, no offense to the viewers or whatever, I mean, it's just not my cup of tea, but has huge following. Huge.
You know what in an Indian family, if you're not a doctor, lawyer, or like someone like in that
that's
field,
one of the criteria.
If you say you want to become a cricketer, parents are like, okay, that's okay, beta, go beta, that's fine.
There's 96 cricket associations around the world.
Yeah,
out of
imagine
196 countries.
Yeah,
official countries associated.
So I have my we can say maybe last question.
last couple of questions, because Tobie needs to.
So I want to ask, because I've seen Ironman competitions, because this is like basically it's divided into sections. You have to run. If I'm not mistaken, there's biking and there's swimming. So which part of it was very challenging for you, and which was the most favorite part for you?
The swim was probably the easier part, which was 3.8 kilometers.
Okay.
Nice.
And then the bike was the more difficult one, which took me about 8 hours, and it should have taken me 6. And then the fun part, because I liked the pain, was the marathon after getting off the bike.
Oh God, that's why it's called Iron Man, because it's constant. Like you need your stamina up high. You know, that's why I respect people who do this. So much respect.
I'm not the quickest, but
the whole initiative to do it, it's more than enough.
And imagine the amount of...
It's good. It's a good thing I was going to say is the challenge, is the process. I prefer the training. Like every day, we like, even in this heat, you're out, you're either swimming, running, or cycling, or in gym, or yoga, or doing the process of training to and then completing it is more fun than the race itself. And I take that into business, or whether it's coaching, or in the studies, or it's just enjoy the process. Enjoy life. I've got a couple of things, like if you're looking forward to the weekend, then you're in the wrong job, or if you hate Mondays, you're definitely in the wrong job.
That is so true. That is so true.
Just embrace and make experiences and enjoy processes, and then the journey becomes a lot more fun than becoming into the rat race and just being on this world for the sake of it.
Paying bills.
Yeah.
Paying bills.
That is such powerful words.
Bullet saying something regarding the cricket is like, and if the player loses the match, all of them go to their houses and start throwing stones.
Yeah, they will.
Leslie, thank you very much for dropping by, man. Take care of yourself, man.
Good night.
Good night. We're gonna see you on Thursday.
Yeah.
But again, Tobie, what was the whole like all this like cricket and all the Ironman challenges and these things, was it something that you had passion for, or it was just something that it was like, you know what, I'm bored and I want to go do something fun? How was it?
I think the masters, completing my masters, I was always told that you could never do a masters without a degree, and I don't have a degree because I dropped out of university and I went to Ibiza with my student loan. And that was in 1994. Sorry, 1990, somewhere around there, can't even think. So I took my student loan and went to Ibiza. I didn't enjoy university, I went through clearing. But I was always told that you could do masters. And I'm very much quite stubborn, and I love the process. I like challenges, I like pushing the limits. And so not only did I want to do the masters because I learnt and it got better at something, it was also to prove to myself that I could have done this when I was in my 20s. As I say, I'm 47, so you can still do whatever you want to do. I don't believe in the word can't as well. The word can't is just not just a word. It's just a bunch of letters that don't mean anything. When it comes to the Ironman, it was just challenges. I don't like watching Netflix. I don't like watching TV. I'd rather do something to learn or be better at something.
Wow.
So I don't choose TV. I think, I can't sit for a movie. My wife hates me for it, or dislikes me for it. I don't like the word. My wife dislikes me not being able to watch a movie or sit on a beach. I just find it. So I would rather, again, it comes back to making experiences, doing things, challenge yourself. Live a fun and fulfilled life. So. Unfortunately, my father passed away 3 weeks ago, and
I'm so sorry to hear that. Our condolences.
I appreciate that. It's a circle of life. We say in England, I don't want a pity party.
Right.
But the biggest thing I took from that is that we were able to sit there on his last days and just talk about. And he was a travel person. He fought in the war, and he was a tour operator and spoke 6 languages. And he was telling me all these stories that I really know, and I realised that I need to make more, and so that when I'm on my deathbed, that I have our kids, that I can give them stories and experiences and go, do you know what, I had a good crack at it and I had a good fun, rather than just being. And so that's why I choose not to watch TV, or I don't drink much now. I don't go to the pub occasionally, but it is very limited. Because I'm doing other things. Like I'd rather be on my bike at 4 a.m. when the sun's coming up in nature than falling in with a headache, from a club. So that's just. But the thing is, I was never like that. I've never always been like that. That's happened in the last 7 years, and life has just become a little bit different and more meaningful, and more purposeful. So everything that you do, I believe you should do with purpose.
So we sorry, Tobie, but we have a compliment from our one of our viewers for you. I Am Bullet is saying you look 20, Tobie. Long way to go.
That's all the workout and all the grind that
even
he's
the
putting
mental
into it.
process. That imagine how much evolution you need as a person to go through that phase of having that maturity. That you know what, now everything needs to stop. I need to get my, as he said, get my shit together.
Power of will, man.
And
Power of
the
will,
will,
yeah.
exactly.
It's just-
I mean,
dude, kudos,
It's either
like,
that or
seriously.
you're 6 foot under. So it's a choice you have to make.
wow, what an outlook to life. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I've already got that inspiration to get back because I used to train before. Then I married this idiot, and then he introduced me to a lot of junk food and shit. And now I'm like, you know,
You can't blame me. You came to the wrong place for.
yeah, I need to get my shit together too.
Yeah, everyone eats junk.
Plus he's Iranian and his mom's food, and I'm like trapped in middle of, you know.
I mean, Tobie, your wife is Arab. You know how tasty is Arabic food as well.
And saying no to them is like, you know, I can't.
I was staying when I went back to England for, before my father passed.
God bless him.
I stayed with my mother-in-law and my father-in-law in Buckinghamshire. She's Palestinian.
Oh,
And,
man.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
you
heavy
say
food.
no to food, and there's food put in front of you. It's like eat. Here we go.
It's disrespectful if you don't eat. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
So I call it a COVID belly or a stress belly.
Yeah, and I mean, even if you taste it, they it's not enough until it is enough according to their level. You know,
Exactly.
like you can be like, okay, just to honor them, you will take one piece. No. You need to clean that
dude,
plate off.
Kudos to you, Tobie, that you actually like put your foot down and like I mean, I think because of the culture that you born and brought up into, and like all the trial and errors you went through your journey, you now have like better understanding. And as you said, you don't believe in a word, the word can't, which is that's one of the greatest achievement a human being can actually reach to.
True.
But like, I'm sure that wasn't your first option to go with. Like, what made you to go to like take those extreme measurements, as in like changing your whole life completely?
I'd be 6 foot under.
I mean, all of us are
That's
like
the level of partying that one had to. At the time.
Okay.
So it's you just drinking and partying for too much. It was going to kill me.
I understand.
And then you go through that process. And I think a lot of people, in various ways. I mean, my medicine to deal with my stuff younger, was just booze and things. But everyone can use food or sex or chocolate or everyone's got various different things. And I think when a lot of people have issues that just because of whether some people use drugs, I have a philosophy that drugs are not the problem. Alcohol's not the problem, food is not the problem. You're the problem, and you're using these as medicines. And
that
when
is
I found
so
that
true.
out, that was a real big eye-opener for me.
That is so
and
true.
I was able to understand that I was just using whatever. It could have been orange juice, I say chocolate, sex, gambling, whatever vice that people find.
True.
You have to look in with yourself first and look in the mirror and go, what is it? Or you're the problem, or I recognize whatever the problem is. And the problems are not the drink, drugs, food, or vices.
Yeah.
They're just medicines.
Right.
And I think, that was my experience. And again, I talk from my experience, not from whoever's listening is theirs. So I'm not trying to here to preach to them.
No.
Or tell them.
Yeah.
My experience was that I realized that I had to deal with some stuff.
Yeah.
I was using just partying, and the biggest thing is I got tired of being tired. That I kept turning right to go there, and I should have been turning left home. It's the old cliche.
Yeah.
But finally, I was able, with some help, to have a different outlook in life and grab it by the balls and tackle it head on.
Right.
And enjoy
That's
it.
awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I can relate to that because, like, even with me, whenever I went into a dark space, I used to resort to comfort eating a lot.
Yep.
So before, I didn't even know. Before I knew I had PCOD, which is polycystic ovarian disease. Before that, I had that phase where whenever I was in a dark space, I used to go to a big mountain of of food. Like it was just like shoving feelings down, and that was the way I was going about. So even like breaking that relationship of that substance or that thing that drags you under, and then coming out of it, and that again, it's a whole internal struggle that a person goes through, you know. So I can completely relate to what he's saying, because
I mean, I understand it, and one of the biggest issues I have, I'm a huge pessimist. But I cover it up and all in like a laugh at a jokey, like, you know, just joke about it, because anyone, like, I mean, everyone had their own dark times.
He's, you know, if I have to give a metaphor, he's like, you know, Lord of the Rings, that King Solomon, he's that person. He's so dark and so like, it's so difficult to sometimes, like, you know, counteract that with positivity and like be all cheery around him sometimes, but I try.
Man, it's all good. I mean, we're all happy. We're like, you know, like, you know, we're, as long as you tell yourself, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Tobie, like, your body hears you. So as long as if you just keep giving negativity to it, it's going to be negative all the time. If you keep on like laughing, you're going to have like, you know, you're going to change your own mood, you know? Am I saying the correct thing?
Yeah, that's also, there's a couple of things that's power of words as well, like just saying that changing hate to dislike, changing jealous to envious. You know, not having these little words. It's all the small little things you can do to be positive. And mirror imaging people. So when they're happy, or try walking down the street and just smile at someone when you're feeling sad or something. You'll be surprised about
that
the
is
power
so true.
Of just someone smiling back at you, and things like this. Just things that I've just seen in the past, and trying things like, and little things I just try myself. Again, I'm not trying to be a guru or you know, and all that. It's just, I just try and be, I have a code that I try and live by each day, you know, how it can be of service, live with integrity, be humble, do a gratitude list, and how, you know, and just be a nice bloke, and you know, and you feel a lot better for it, you know.
And, exactly.
And you know, that we're all going to go through trials and tribulations, but there's always someone more worse off to be grateful.
Exactly.
Yeah, that is so true. I mean, these are very valuable words that, you know, everyone should live by, and it will make such a huge difference, because it can be, you know, day and night with someone's life when they inculcate all these principles, you know. And
you know, Knox is saying 40 is the
new 20.
So
hopefully I'll be saying that in 3 years' time when we're 50. But,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, man.
I can't believe I'm so old, but
Man, Tobie, I mean, because you need to leave, we're cutting it this short, but
like, I mean, with a person like him,
I can do another 10 minutes. I'm more than happy.
We have that 10 minutes. So that's why I was like, you know, I wanted to give you the red carpet.
Like, I mean, he's a mind that, like, he has a mind that I can like sit for hours and just pick at, like, you know, about his experiences. Other than his like the brand and everything,
person,
it's just by himself, he is so, like, there's so many layers to Tobie. Like, you know,
hopefully this is not the only session that we're having.
Maybe we can bring
you on again, and we can talk about anything else that is your interest.
I
mean, feel free. This platform is for the guests.
Whenever you would like to come on, we would like to have you again on the show.
So Tobie, so like, we are at the end of the show. The red carpet is all yours. So what do you like? Where the viewers can find Maana music, and if you can give, you know, just let them know where they can find you, or to keep in touch with you guys and get all the updates.
Yeah. So first and foremost, I really thank you so much for having me on. It's been a blast. A couple of 2 hours.
It's all pleasure. It's all pleasure.
It's been great just having a chat. It's like the best thing about being humans, isn't it? Just conversing.
Exactly.
True.
And everyone's got a story. And I've learned stuff about you, which has been awesome. So thank you for that.
Thank you very much for you, man.
People, if they want to get hold of me and ask me any questions, no question is a bad question, a silly question. I'll give you an honest, transparent thought process, or, you know, opinion or advice. There's no cost to it, because I believe in serving musicians. So you can find me so you can email me at Tobie@Maana Music. That's MAANA music.com. And then on Facebook, you can message me Maana Music, Instagram Maana Music. You can also do Tobie Allen, TOBIEALLEN. Actually, I'll even give you know, if you want me to give my mobile number. I don't know if that's allowed on here. I'm allowed. I can because it's public domain.
We can do one thing. We can do one thing. I'm like, anyway, once I'm going to be uploading this session on YouTube, I'm going to be putting all the captions. So I'm going to be putting your personal page as well. So in case if they want to, direct message you, that's the best way.
Yeah, exactly.
And
if anyone just wants to know, even if they're before signing or if they think about they want to start music, and they want to have a 15-minute chat, just please get in touch. That's what we're here for. If you've got music and you want to release it, even better. We're happy to deliver that in PR, social media, and branding.
Yeah.
That's amazing,
That's
Tobie.
awesome.
Tobie, thank you very much for joining us for this session.
And I tell everyone who gives us because time is something, it's a commodity that you can't take back. It's something that's so precious to a person that, you can't get back. So thank you so much for giving us your precious time and all this knowledge and even the tips and tricks that, you've been using for your own company and for the different artists and stuff like that.
Your whole lifestyle as well.
Yeah, exactly. Even the lifestyle. Yeah. So, I'm going out of this learning so much from him, and my respect for people like this is immense, and really I'm so glad that souls like him exist in this world. At least someone's trying to make the world a better place little by little. So I'm just
huge thank you to you that actually doing this for the artists in this region, which we never had it.
Yeah, exactly. So thank you for everything, and thank you for plainly existing in such a awesome manner. Yeah, I'm so glad he's existing.
I think Dandivat, is that right? Dandivat.
Thank
you in Hindi.
Oh, Dhanyavad. Yeah. Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you. Dhanyavad as well.
Shukran
jazeelan. Wow.
No, man, all good. All the pleasure is ours, Tobie. So before we close the session, we always rate another streamer.
Yeah.
So we got our friend DJ Zags who's streaming American Truck Simulator. So you guys, thank you very much for sticking around with us for this session with our guest Tobie Allen.
Thank you to all those who jumped in, guys. Anyone, all the viewers, thank you so much. It was a pleasure. Thanks for the questions.
Thank you.
Love you all. Respect you all.
Thank you very much,
Thank
Tobie.
you so much. Thank you.
So if you guys like American Truck Simulator, please join us. We're going to be rating Zach's channel. So anyway, guys, stay safe. It's horrible times. Stay safe, and we're going to see you guys on Thursday. And again, Tobie, thank you very much for joining us.
Nox is saying DJ is done. Daddy Wisdom is on.
I think, no, DJ is on.
He's online.
Yeah, he's online.
Okay.
Anyway, we'll see you guys around on Thursday.
Bye, see you everyone.
See you
Thank
guys.
you so much for
care.
staying. Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.